I never thought much about the idea of vanishing. People go missing all the time. Runaways, kidnappings, accidents. But me, I wasn't the type to disappear. I had a normal life, an unremarkable one. That was, until the day I woke up and realized I was gone. It started like any other morning. My alarm blared at 7 a.m., vibrating on my nightstand. I groaned, stretched, and sat up. The first thing I noticed was the silence. No birds chirping, no distant hum of cars, just dead quiet. I rolled out of bed and went to the bathroom, flipping on the light. That was when my heart stopped. The mirror showed my room behind me, the shower curtain, the sink, the door. But no me. I waved my hand. Nothing. I turned my head from side to side, but my reflection wasn't there. It was as if I had become nothing more than air. Panic set in. I touched my face, felt my skin, my lips, my nose. I could feel myself, but I couldn't see myself. I staggered back into my room, knocking over my chair. It crashed onto the hardwood floor, making a loud noise. At least, I thought it did. But when I strained to listen, there was nothing. No echo, no thud. That was when I realized, not only was I invisible, but I wasn't making any sound. I scrambled to my phone, fumbling with the screen. It didn't recognize my fingerprint. I tried typing in my passcode. No response. The screen didn't acknowledge my touch at all. I spent the next hour trying to figure out what had happened. I walked around my apartment, touching things, moving things. Everything responded to me like normal, but I couldn't hear the objects move. I knocked a glass of water onto the floor, watched as it shattered. No sound, no sensation of the water touching my skin when I stepped in. I tried speaking. Hello. Nothing. My voice didn't exist. By now, my heart was racing. I threw on some clothes, though for all I knew, they didn't even register on my body anymore, and stepped out into the hallway. The world looked normal. People were outside. A jogger passed by, completely unaware of my presence. I reached out and touched his shoulder. Nothing. He didn't react, didn't even flinch. It was like I wasn't even there. I ran outside, straight into the middle of the road. A car came speeding toward me. I squeezed my eyes, bracing for impact. The car passed right through me. My knees gave out, and I collapsed into the pavement. I wasn't just invisible. I was just silent. I wasn't there. If I wasn't here, then where was I? Was I dead? A ghost? Some kind of anomaly? I needed answers. I ran back into my apartment and grabbed my laptop. Just like my phone, the screen didn't respond to my touch. My fingers passed through it, like I wasn't even there. Desperate, I thought about calling someone. My best friend Jake always picked up, but my phone wouldn't let me dial. Frustrated, I decided to go find him in person. It was a long walk to his place, but I barely felt the time pass. The streets were busy, the world continuing on like normal, yet I moved through it like a ghost. When I finally arrived at Jake's apartment, I walked straight through the door. I found him sitting on his couch, gaming with his headset on. I shouted his name. No response. I waved my hands in front of his face. Nothing. I knocked over a glass of his coffee table. It hit the floor and shattered. Except it didn't. The moment the glass should have hit the ground and simply ceased to exist. Jake didn't notice a thing. That was when I realized I wasn't just invisible. I wasn't even in the same world as them anymore. I was somewhere else. I spent days like this, wandering through the world, trying to figure out if I was alone. At first, I thought I was. I ran through crowds, entered locked rooms, screamed at the top of my lungs. Nothing. Until I saw her. It happened on the third day. I was sitting on a park bench, watching as people moved around me like I wasn't there. And then I saw her, a girl, standing at the edge of the sidewalk, staring directly at me. She wasn't part of the normal world. I could tell because the way she moved was different. While the rest of the world existed in a state of fluidity, she seemed detached, slightly off, like she didn't belong either. I stood up. She tilted her head. I took a step forward. She turned and ran. Without thinking, I chased after her. She led me through alleys, over fences, down empty streets. No one noticed us. No one reacted. We didn't make a sound. Finally, she stopped in an abandoned parking lot, hands on her knees, breathing heavily. I hesitated before stepping forward. "You can see me?" She looked up. "You can see me?" My stomach twisted. "You mean you haven't seen anyone else?" She shook her head. "Not in a long time." I swallowed. "What is this place?" She gave me a look. You don't know? I shook my head. Her face darkened. You're one of us now. I frowned. Us? She sighed, glancing around as if I was making sure no one was watching. Then she said 2 words that sent a chill through my bones. The forgotten. Her name was Ellis. She had been here for years. Years? I echoed, unable to believe it. How? She sighed, sitting down on the pavement. Same as you. I woke up one day and I was gone. I tried everything, talking to people, touching things, screaming. Nothing worked. I sat beside her, trying to process it all. But what is this place? Are we dead? She shook her head. I don't think so. I think we're stuck. Stuck? She nodded. Between worlds, between existence and non-existence. The words sent a shiver down my spine. I rubbed my face, trying to think. But why? How did this happen? Ellis shrugged. Some of us think that we're forgotten by the world. Others think we did something to end up here. The truth is, no one knows. I stared at the ground. Is there no way out? She was silent for a long time. Finally, she whispered, there might be. Ellis explained that every once in a while, someone disappeared from our world. They don't just fade away, she said. They move on. They find a way back. I gripped my knees. How? She hesitated. It's different for everyone. Some say it's about being remembered. Others say it's about accepting someone or something they've been running from. But I don't know for sure. I swallowed. And the ones who don't move on? Ellis looked at me with sad eyes. They stay here forever. I clenched my fists. I wasn't going to be one of them. I was going to find a way back, even if it killed me. I wasn't going to accept this fate. Ellis might have been trapped here for years, but I refused to believe there wasn't a way out. What do you mean? It's different for everyone? I pressed. How do we figure it out? She sighed, running a hand through her hair. I don't know. I've seen people vanish, just like they appeared. One day they're here, the next gone, like they were never here in the first place. Maybe they woke up. Ellis glanced at me. Maybe? I stood up, my mind racing. Then we need to find a way out to make that happen. She gave him a skeptical look. I've tried everything. I've retraced my steps from the day I disappeared. I've found places that I used to go, tried to interact with people I knew. Nothing worked. I shook my head. Then we're missing something. There has to be a reason we're here. Ellis hesitated before saying, there's one place I never tried. I turned to her. Where? She swallowed. My home. We walked for hours. The city stretched endlessly. A ghost world layered on top of the real one. No one saw us. No one heard us. But I couldn't shake the feeling that we weren't alone. There are others, Ellis had told me earlier. Not all of them are friendly. What do you mean? I had asked. She never gave me a clear answer. Now as we approached her old house, I understood why. It was falling apart, abandoned, like it had been left to rot for years. Ellis stopped at the front gate, gripping the rusted metal. Her hands trembled. I left here the day I disappeared. I nodded. Let's go inside. We stepped through the broken doorway, moving into a house frozen in time. Dust covered everything. The air was thick, stagnant, untouched by life. Ellis led me to her bedroom. She stopped in the doorway, her breath catching. What is it? I asked. She pointed. At first, I didn't understand. It was just a mirror. But then I saw it, a faint outline, a shadow, a reflection that shouldn't exist. The mirror surface rippled, like water, disturbed by a breeze, and then something moved inside it. I grabbed her arm. What is it? She didn't answer. She was staring, transfixed. And then I saw her, a version of Ellis, but not Ellis. This one was living, breathing. She was sitting on the bed, looking down at a journal. She flipped through pages, stopping at a particular one. She's remembering, Ellis whispered. I turned to her. What do you mean? She swallowed hard. I wrote it in that journal before I disappeared. I wrote about how I felt like no one saw me, like I could vanish and no one would even notice. My stomach twisted. That's why you're here? Tears welled in her eyes. I think so. I looked back at the mirror. Her reflection, her real self, was gripping the journal now. Eyes wide. She was reading, remembering, and then something shifted. The Ellis standing next to me gasped as she form flickered, light static on a dying screen. What's happening? She choked out. I stepped back. I think you're going back. She turned to me, eyes full of fear. But what about? Before I could answer, she vanished. I was alone. The silence was deafening. Ellis had found her way back. Her real self had remembered. Ellis had found her way back. Her real self had remembered her. And that was enough to pull her out of this world. But what about me? I stumbled backwards, my hands shaking. I wasn't ready to be alone again. Then the whispers started, low at first, then louder. I spun around. The shadows in the room moved. Ellis had warned me. There were others out here. Not all of them were friendly. I ran. Through the house, through the empty streets. The world around me darkened, twisting into something wrong. The forgotten ones were coming, and I was running out of time. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I had to get away. But then I saw it, my home. I didn't even remember running there, but somehow I had arrived. I stumbled inside, searching frantically for something, anything, that might help me escape. And then I saw it, a photograph, me, Jake, and my family, taken last summer. My hands trembled as I picked it up. The moments my fingers touched the image, memories flooded in my mind. Laughing with Jake, talking to my mom, sitting alone in my room, wondering if anyone would miss me if I were gone. Tears welled in my eyes. I had done this to myself. I had let myself be forgotten. But I wasn't ready to stay here, not forever. I clutched the photograph, closing my eyes. I focused on my life, on the moments that mattered. I wanted to be remembered. I wanted to exist. And then light. A blinding, burning light. The last thing I heard was my name, someone calling me. And then I woke up. The beeping of a heart monitor. A sterile scent of a hospital room. I blinked against the bright lights above me. My body ached. My throat was dry. And then I saw them. Jake, my mom, my dad. They were sitting beside my hospital bed, eyes red, faces pale. What? My voice cracked. Jake, let me out. Breathless laugh. Holy dude, you're awake. My mom burst into tears. My dad gripped my hand like he was afraid I wouldn't disappear again. I swallowed, my mind spinning. What happened? Jake hesitated before answering. You went missing a week ago. They found you unconscious yesterday. A week? I sat up, my head pounding. It all felt real. The silent world. Ellis, the forgotten ones. But I was here. I had made it back. I looked at Jake. Did you ever forget about me? His expression darkened. Not for a second. I let out a shaky breath. That was why I was back. Because someone had remembered me. Because I had chosen to exist. I squeezed my mom's hand, feeling the warmth of her skin. I was real. I was alive. And I wasn't going anywhere.